Big sound, a lengthy feature list, a decent upgrade over its predecessor, and a surprisingly affordable price tag. So what's the drawback? Meet the Soundcore Boom 2 Plus. Hey guys, Louis here from Smart Home Sounds, and if you're familiar with Soundcore, then you'll know that they've got a knack for making speakers that are light on your wallet, but big on sound. Now, if you missed it, we reviewed their Motion Boom Plus back in 2022, and nearly 2 years later, they're back again with a second gen model that promises to outshine the original with even bigger sound and a wave of enhanced functionality. With a max output of 140 watts, improved bass up 2.0 functionality, and an updated driver array, the Boom 2 Plus definitely isn't lacking in the volume department. But with so many great options in this category from the likes of JBL, Bose and Sony, is this the best outdoor Bluetooth speaker for you? Let's find out. Now, a big shout out to Soundcore for sending us this speaker, but as always, the thoughts that we share in this video are 100% our own and what we found from putting it through its paces to help you decide if it's right for you. Now, chances are, if you're considering the Soundcore Boom 2 Plus, then you've already looked at the competition, and I'm thinking about the new JBL Xtreme 4, the JBL Boombox 3, Bose SoundLink Max, and that sort of thing. But before I get on to where this sits in comparison, first of all, I want to dive into what new features this upgrade brings to the table. As the bigger brother to the Boom 2, Soundcore has significantly boosted the power output in this second generation model. So it jumps from what was 80 watts to a much more impressive 140 watts of power. This increase is partly thanks to their new bass up 2.0 technology, which you can control with the button on the speaker itself or through the Soundcore app to give that low end a boost. Internally, the Boom 2 Plus switches from a passive crossover design to a more advanced active crossover system, which essentially means that the speaker should better separate the different sound frequencies, and this results in a cleaner and more accurate listening experience. The speaker drivers themselves have also received some physical upgrades too. This version boasts more powerful 50-watt dual 4.5-inch woofers for deeper bass and dual 20-watt tweeters in comparison to the Motion Boom Plus's twin 3.5-inch 30-watt woofers and dual 10-watt tweeters. This refined sound system boasts an impressive frequency response, ranging from 40 Hz to 20 kHz, and promises bolder stereo sound with crisp details too. Now, these audio upgrades all point towards a richer and more powerful sound, and I'll be testing all of that out very shortly, but how does the physical design of this speaker itself compare? Well, it's a bigger and much heavier unit, but while the overall shape is still similar to the old Motion Boom Plus, it's far from a carbon copy with incremental upgrades. Soundcore have added some really cool features that I know won't be right for everyone, but they seem like improvements in my opinion. The most obvious and maybe the most divisive though are these lights on the side that can put on a show that actually syncs with the music that you're listening to. There's 8 different light effects in total for you to choose from, and you can even pick your own colors in the Soundcore app. Now, I'm pretty impressed with these, and they're some of the best that I've seen, but if they're not quite doing it for you, then you can turn them off completely, so it's a win-win either way. The speaker's grille has also had a little makeover. Soundcore have decided to get rid of the logos on the passive radiators and slap some large decals on the front and back here instead. Admittedly, it's a little obnoxious, but it brings this one in line with some of Soundcore's other portable speakers, like the smaller Boom 2, and if I've learned anything since reviewing Soundcore, it's that they make no apologies about using their logo. They've stuck with the more plastic finish as the original, which isn't quite as premium as some of the other speakers in their range, like the Motion 300 or Motion X600. Now, as mentioned, there is a big step up in power with this speaker, but that does come with the drawback of a much heavier design. Now, that means it's not a lightweight speaker by any stretch, but because of the size and the carry handle, it is still portable enough. When it comes to additional features, we've got the same 20 hours of playtime on a single charge as the Motion Boom Plus with that 30-watt fast charging, which means that this one can be juiced back up in 3 hours. We've got Bluetooth 5.3 connectivity with multi-point connection, and if I just take you around the back, you'll see that there's still your USB-C for charging and power bank functionality, so you can still charge your other devices too. Plus, there's still a 3.5mm aux line in for those of you that would rather a wired listening experience instead of using Bluetooth, which is a nice little touch as well. So no major upgrades from the Motion Boom Plus for the features there, but I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In terms of controls, other than all of these buttons along the top, the majority of the messing around is going to happen in the Soundcore app. Now the app itself is pretty simple, but it's nice and intuitive, and it's got all of the functionality that you'd expect from a portable or party speaker. So for those of you who like to tweak your sound, there's 4 custom sound profiles to choose from. There's a balanced, treble boost, voice, or my personal favorite, soundcore signature. Now for those who like to be more involved, you can create your own custom profiles using the 9-slider EQ. You can also adjust volume, power settings, and control that bass boost feature that I mentioned earlier. The speaker also allows you to connect multiple Boom Plus speakers together for synchronized playback with PartyCast 2.0, or there's TWS for stereo sound, creating a truly immersive audio experience. It's going to be great for bringing an even bigger sound to any party. Now in terms of durability, this one's IPX7 rated, and it looks pretty rugged, but I'll pass this over to Al so he can really put it through its paces.
Cheers Lou. Now as you can see, I've taken the Boom 2 Plus out for a spin, and to be honest, I've been really impressed. Now it has got a bit of a plasticky build, but for me it's a real improvement on the previous iteration. Now it's not a super lightweight speaker by any stretch, but for what I've been using it for, it's been unbelievable, and it can definitely handle all the knocks and drops you're going to be throwing at it. As this one is IPX7 rated, like Lou mentioned, there's no protection for dust ingress, so we actually see this one as the perfect poolside portable. Oh, and it floats too. Now, while we were out and about, we thought we might as well do a quick Bluetooth range test. Now, me and Lou have just tested it out, and to be honest, you're getting a good 50-60 meters plus. So there's absolutely no doubt this one is perfect for those outdoor barbecues, parties, anything like that.
Right then, let's talk sound quality, because on paper, this one definitely has me excited. As for the price, we were pretty impressed with the original Motion Boom Plus. But as we all know, specs can only tell us half the story, so let's put it to the test.
The same time, the distant memory of you and me, so bittersweet and true.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. For me, the Boom 2 Plus definitely lives up to its name. It packs a serious punch, especially in the volume department, and I'd say it's a considerable step up across the board on the previous iteration. Now, of course, I know that sheer volume isn't everything, but in terms of the actual use case of this speaker, and I'm talking outdoor barbecues, parties, large gatherings, all that kind of thing, it's pretty hard to argue with what it brings to the table. The bass itself was a real standout, and that bass up feature, I mean, wow, that is something else. That being said, I do think there's still some of the same pitfalls as we found with the original. It leans a little bit heavy on that bass element, which does make the other frequencies like the mid-range come across a little bit muddy in comparison. But again, this isn't the speaker that you're going to be sat down with having a critical listening session. It knows exactly what it is. It's loud and in your face in the best way possible, and you can't really complain with that, especially at this price point. So let's talk about how it stacks up against some of the other options in this space. So starting with the JBL Xtreme 4, for me, I recently tested this one out, and although it is an improvement on the Xtreme 3 version, I think in terms of pure volume and power, the soundcore is bigger. I think the Xtreme 4 offers more detail and nuance in the sound, but considering the nearly £130 price difference, the Boom 2 Plus delivers very impressive value for money, and that makes it a very solid alternative if you're looking for more out and out power and volume. Now, I also compared it to the JBL Boombox 3, which is probably one of the most recognizable boombox style portables out there. It's a little bit older than the Xtreme 4, and I do see this one getting an upgrade sometime soon, but since it's dropped in price quite a bit and it's the biggest speaker in the JBL range, it's still an option that I know some of you guys will be considering if you can find a good deal on it. I've seen it around about the £350 mark right now. For me, while it boasts a powerful 180 watt max output when it's plugged in, dropping to 136 watts on battery power, which is where I see most people listening, the sound signature itself wasn't a huge leap forward compared to the Boom 2 Plus in my opinion. Sure, it offers a more well-rounded listening experience and it definitely narrows the volume gap, but for what's anything upwards of £130 extra, it's hard to justify the extra cost based on sound quality alone. It's almost double the weight of the Boom 2 Plus. Now, of course, if you're looking for a step up in build quality with a more rugged finish and premium feel, are already in the JBL ecosystem, or you'd like a speaker which gives more clarity and detail in the performance, then either of these would be a great option. But again, for the money and the power output, the Boom 2 Plus is a very tempting offer. So what are my final thoughts then? Well, to put it simply, I've been really impressed. Is it perfect? No, but if you're going to judge this fairly, then you've got to remember who it's been made for. Are there speakers out there which deliver a more detailed, fine-tuned sound? Yeah. But for those looking for the biggest bang for your buck, this is definitely one to consider. Now, we also love the more dedicated party speakers like the JBL Party Boxes or the Sony SRS range, which in the right scenario could be a really good fit, but they can be a little bit bulky and difficult to lug around at times. So this is a good option which bridges the gap between a party speaker and a lightweight portable speaker. And for the price, is an absolute steal in my opinion. Now, my one criticism is that I wish they could have kept the weight down to keep that lightweight form factor, but what do you guys think? Does this tick the right boxes for you? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.